I'd like to welcome all our friends and visitors who are here this morning. The first part of our conference this morning deals with the work which the party has been doing in the past year. And I'd like to begin this morning's proceedings by calling upon Jerry Granger.
Comrades, friends and guests, we are living through a time of great changes. In Ireland, north and south, the working class is being made to pay for the capitalist crisis. The very same ideological tools which gave rise to the crisis are now being redeployed as the supposed solution. In a number of ways, the past year has given us cause for optimism on many fronts. The party has begun to strengthen organisationally. The party's profile in Northern Ireland has been enhanced, and particularly in the current economic climate, our political assessment is being demonstrated as more relevant and telling than ever. It was at our party's annual conference in October 2005 that our comrade and party treasurer, Sean Garland, was arrested on foot of an extradition order issued by the Bush administration, back in the dying days of the Bush administration. They had waited deliberately, and we now know it was deliberate, until Sean travelled to Northern Ireland before they pursued the arrest. The US administration felt it had a better chance of securing Sean's extradition if he was detained in this jurisdiction rather than in the Republic of Ireland. The fact that they offered no evidence at the time and have still 6 years later not produced a shred of testimony to support their allegations has meant that Sean and Mary have had to endure unbelievable pressure and anxiety throughout that period. I'm pleased to say that Mary has been able to join us today, and Mary, you're most welcome. You're among friends and supporters who have stood and will stand with you and Sean until these outrageous allegations are finally dealt with. Please pass on our best wishes and assure Sean of our continuing ongoing commitment and support. In the Assembly elections last May, the party stood 4 candidates in Belfast. We can be proud of the campaign which we did wage, and of the increased number of votes we received, even if that was small in the overall scheme of things, and was much lower than we would have wished in the circumstances. But we have never opted for the easy way forward, and we have never compromised principles for popularity. We are not a party which says, this is our policy, but if you don't like it, we'll change it. Before I go on to mention some details of the election campaign itself, I would ask you to show your appreciation for the 4 candidates who stood in the Belfast area for the party, and to say thank you to them for their commitment and their unswerving loyalty to this party and to the people. In the 1970s, the 1980s, and indeed the 1990s, we said sectarianism kills work. We screamed it from the rooftops, and we postered that message on walls in every town and city in Northern Ireland. In the 2011 Assembly elections, we spelled it out again in letters large enough for everyone to see. Sectarianism hasn't gone away, and unfortunately, how right we were once again. Our vote increased, our profile was raised, and our political credibility was enhanced. Well done, and thank you to everyone who was involved in that. Just over a year ago, before last year's conference, we took a deliberate and determined decision to develop the party's presence and profile. This is one of the areas that give us cause for some optimism. The party was seen and participated in more public events than it has done for some time. Its campaigning edge was being sharpened, and that was obvious. In wind and rain, we participated in Andrew Cutts rallies. We were back on the streets in better days for the trade union organised demonstrations against cuts to public service. We celebrated May Day in Belfast City Centre. We were loud, those of you who were there will remember that. We were proud, we were confident, and it showed. At Belfast City Hospital, we demonstrated against plans to close the Accident and Emergency Department. We were out in numbers again at the meeting to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Cuban victory at the Bay of Pigs. Comrades Francie Donnelly and Tom French, two of our longest serving members, presented the salver to our Cuban guest, himself a veteran of the Bay of Pigs. We were proud to be part of Pride, and not only joined in the Pride March, but commissioned a special party poster to mark our support. This year also marks the 75th anniversary of the military uprising which started the Spanish Civil War. This September, members of our party travelled to Spain to place a memorial plaque to commemorate our comrade Paddy McAllister, a brigadista in the Mackenzie Papineau Battalion and a committed Workers' Party member until his dying day. And we were to the forefront of the protest at the US Consulate in support of the brave Cuban Five who were and who remain incarcerated in US prisons. One has been released but still forced to remain within Miami at constant threat to his life, where their only crime was to expose US-sponsored terrorism against the people and state of Cuba. That campaign for the Cuban Five continues, and we are proud to be part of that campaign. The work of the Business Committee, established just over a year ago to help develop and revitalise the party, deserves both mention and praise. It has been the Business Committee which launched and delivered our Presence and Profile initiative, and the Business Committee which has been responsible for the development of the discussion papers which will be presented later on today. The committee has also ensured that the distribution of our magazine Look Left has been placed on a more secure and professional footing. It is now available in newsagents throughout Northern Ireland, and a distribution and development strategy has been recently adopted. Finally, I will mention some of the forward planning that is taking place. Between now and June of next year, we hope to address the areas of policy development, party development, updated structures, and the selection of additional party representatives. That work will be implemented and monitored over the next 2 years, and then, in August 2014, we will begin our election campaigns for 2015. We have come a long way in 12 months, but there is much more to be done. We have never opted for the easy road, but hard work, discipline and commitment will yield results. We do not accept that there is no alternative. We believe that citizens are capable of transforming their own lives and the society in which we live. Comrades, this year has been, and I believe will become, a significant year in the history of the party. Thank you for your support, your commitment, but most of all for your belief that change is not only necessary, but achievable. Thank you.
We're getting involved with everybody else in Spain, Cuba, you name it, we're there. We're not in our own districts promoting our aims and our policies. We need to get the young people in, let the young people make some of the decisions. That's what we need. We need an avenue for the young people to get in, other people to make decisions, get on the ground, get fight for our people, and start getting the councillors back in the way like years ago.
I'd just like to say, I'd like to welcome all the new faces that we see up there, and it's a welcome change to see young people up there instead of the old people like myself who get up and do a lot of screaming. But I think we are on the ground. There's some people sitting up there on the front stage.
We need a workers' party because basically it recognises good from bad, and it recognises the poor, the deprived, and the vulnerable in our society, and it goes further than that. It sets out why the poor and the vulnerable will continue to be poor and vulnerable. We are a party of the workers, and we embrace all workers of Northern Ireland. Now, to do that is a very, very hard message. It's easy in certain places to do it, but it's hard to do it all over this province.
There comes a time in every member's life when they have to make decisions about their future within the party. And in my case, I feel now that, believe it or not, having reached the grand old age of 77, and heading hopefully towards 78. And if I can get enough drink into me, I'll make 80. But my decision is one that I think that older members of the party should bear in mind. And that is that there comes a time when they have, if they're in leadership positions, they have to move on. And this is what I'm telling you. I will not be standing for any of the committees that I've been on the party since, I can't remember when, such as the Ardcorn and another region. I'm delighted to see so many young faces here at the top table. And that's the way we've got to go. And I want to see more of that. Tragically, when I look around here, you'd almost get to come to the conclusion that this is a single-sex party. The absence of women, and particularly young women, is frightening, and we have to redress that as rapidly as possible. But when I say that I'm not standing for any committees or participating in that way in the party, that doesn't mean that I'm walking away from the party. By no means. I'm in regular contact with the General Secretary. I'm in regular contact with the Business Committee and my own party branch, and that will remain the case. But people have to recognise that they've reached a certain age and that the roles that they used to play are no longer viable. And that's why I'm telling you that I will not be standing for any positions within the party in future, but I will be maintaining close contact with the comrades whom I've already mentioned. Thank you for your attention, comrades.